So hello friends, in the last class I discussed that Plato has diagnosed the problem in Athens, and the fundamental problem which Plato diagnosed was that the ruling class is ignorant. The ruling class is ignorant because they are running after money and power. And the root cause of this ignorance is the sophist teaching. The sophists were telling that money and power is a source of good life. Now, in this context, Plato thinks that the solution is knowledge. We have to provide the ruling class true knowledge. Hence, he gives his theory of knowledge, though normally it is also called as the Socrates theory of knowledge. So it is up to your choice. You want to use Plato or you want to use Socrates. Fine. Now the next thing is, in the last class, I told that there are two important statements which can be asked in the exam. The one statement is virtue is knowledge, and the other statement is unexamined life is not worth living. So today we will discuss these two things. Besides, we will also be discussing Plato's theory of idea and theory of soul. All the three concepts are interlinked to each other. And if you apply the concept of Socrates, so Socrates believed that we all do wrong only out of ignorance and not out of knowledge, and nobody does the wrong thing willingly. So Plato also utilized it that the rulers are not doing things wrong willingly, rather it is because of their ignorance. So today I am starting with Socrates or Plato's theory of knowledge. Okay. So Socrates, and our Socrates is Plato because we are studying Socrates from Plato's books. Fine. So Socrates is the main character in Plato, so we will write Socrates. Fine. So Socrates is known as father of philosophy. Socrates is also known as father of ethics. So today in the class you will understand what is philosophy and what is ethics. Okay. So Socrates is the father, you can write side by side, father of philosophy. Fine. So why he is called as father of philosophy? What exactly is philosophy? Fine. So philosophy is search for truth. You can write that. Philosophy is search for truth. Okay. Now, truth also means search for reality. Fine. So philosophers are trying to understand what is truth, what is reality. Truth, if you must have heard Gandhi. So Gandhi also believed that the objective of my life is to understand the truth. And he compared truth with God. Now, God is what? God is a symbol of truth. Truth, God. God is a symbol of knowledge. So God can also be treated as knowledge. Truth, God, and knowledge. All the three things are interlinked. Fine. So philosophers are trying to understand what is reality. And they have been asking this question, whether reality is what we observe or reality is something beyond what we observe, and we require some special method to understand the reality. So Socrates as our father of philosophy, you should understand what is philosophy. So philosophy is the search for reality. Reality means truth. Truth can be equated with God. So I hope all of you are understanding what is a link between the truth and God. Whether man is real or the God is real. Whether man is permanent or God is permanent. Whether man is perfect or God is perfect. Fine. So Socrates is known as father of philosophy. Philosophy is the search for truth. And the philosophers, even before Socrates, for example, sophists like Gorgias, he also explained what is reality. And he said that we do not have that capacity to ultimately reach to that reality. He believed that there is nothing called God. There is no universal standards. Similarly, Protagoras said, man is a measure of everything. So man is real. There is nothing called God. They held that this world of matter is real and there is nothing beyond this world. Okay? So, again understand what is philosophy. Philosophy is the search for truth, search for reality, or the search for God. If we take Buddha and if we consider Buddha as a philosopher, so Buddha has left his kingdom for the search of truth, the search of knowledge, and the search for God. Fine. So God, truth, reality, knowledge can also be interlinked. Fine. These are the words you can use interchangeably. Fine. So in your copies you write Socrates is a father of philosophy, and then you write philosophy is a search for truth, reality, God, or knowledge. Okay. And in next paragraph you write Socrates was not the first person to inquire and tell about the truth. Socrates was not the first person to inquire and tell about the truth. Write it down. Socrates was not the first person who searched for truth. He was not even the first person to search for truth in the ancient Greece. Yet he is known as father of philosophy. Fine. So you can write philosophers before Socrates. So philosophers before Socrates First were physicists who studied the physical property of universe, and their intellect was limited to finding out the physical features of the universe, that this universe is made up of atom or air, etc. Now after that came sophists. So they were just studying the natural world. And then came sophists, and sophists were studying, they are trying to understand not nature but human life, and they have propagated that there is nothing beyond this world and man is a measure of everything. Fine. So sophists held that there is no reality beyond this world. Fine. No reality beyond this world. What does it mean? It means, if we apply, there is no truth beyond this world. There is no good, God, beyond this world. So there is nothing beyond this world. Fine. And what Gorgias says, there is no truth, there is no God, so there is nothing right, there is nothing wrong, and there is nothing beyond this world. If there is something we are not capable of understanding, and so Protagoras also held man is a measure of everything. Okay. So I am writing it here so that you can understand why do we call Socrates the father of philosophy. So naturalists or physicists we can leave. Then came sophists. Sophists also searched reality. Reality means truth. Truth means God or knowledge. And sophists held that there is no truth or reality. See, naturalists didn't engage themselves in these type of questions, but sophists engaged themselves in these type of questions, and sophists said that there is no truth or reality or God beyond this world. Fine. And Gorgias, I hope you remember, said that it is not possible also to understand, and Protagoras held that there is nothing called God. Protagoras held that man is measure of everything. And they also propagated individualism. Now, what is your take on the positions of sophists? That are they right? So now I am writing the position of Socrates. Fine. I am writing the position of Socrates. ये कैसे? So Socrates held that this is wrong to say that there is no truth, no reality beyond this word. Fine. So he said that this is not the truth. This is not the true knowledge. And sophists are actually misguiding anybody if they are saying so. Fine. So sophists are not telling the truth. And Socrates believed that just because sophists don't go beyond it doesn't mean the reality does not exist. So sophists believe that we cannot say that there is no truth beyond this world. We cannot say that there is no truth beyond this word. Fine. And this word means what? This word means the world in which we live, or the world of matter. Fine. And unlike Gorgias, who held that there is no way we can understand any truth which is beyond this world, Socrates held that there is a method, and when we use that method, we can understand the truth more deeply. Fine. So Socrates held that he doesn't believe in what Gorgias is saying, and Socrates said that there is a method also to understand the truth. And the Socrates method, the famous method of Socrates, is known as Elenchus. Elenchus. Fine. So Gorgia, Socrates. Gorgias says no truth beyond this world, means no truth beyond what we see. Socrates is saying no, there is a truth beyond what we perceive. Fine. And then Gorgias says we don't have any way to understand the truth. For that, Socrates say no, we do have ability, we do have that method to understand the truth. Now what is that method? Socrates' method is called Elenchus. Elenchus. Now this method of Elenchus was refined and developed by Plato, and from Plato onwards this method is known as the dialectical method. Now instead of using the word Elenchus, we use the word dialectics. Fine. And the dialectical method became the main method to inquire into the philosophical questions or the questions of reality. Fine. So Elenchus, this was later developed by Plato, and Plato called it as dialectics. Plato called it as dialectics. And again Socrates put this question mark that there is no word, there is nothing beyond individualism in that sense. Fine. So as Socrates has explained more deeper understanding of the truth, Socrates has also given the method to understand the truth. So between the Socrates and sophist, whom do you think is giving greater truth, bigger and better understanding, better knowledge? Obviously Socrates. And when Socrates is giving you a better knowledge, if you will have to award the title of a philosopher, Philosopher means philosopher in the true sense. You will award that title to whom? Will you award that title to the sophists, or will you award this title to Socrates? So Socrates has given a deeper theory of knowledge. So what we say that no, Gorgias is not the real philosopher. Gorgia is only showing that he is a philosopher, whereas the real philosopher is Socrates. If Socrates is our teacher, we can understand the truth better. Fine. So if you will have to use the title of the philosopher, for whom will you use this title? Will you use this title for sophists, or will you use this title for Socrates? So you will preferably use this title for Socrates. So similarly, the knowledge. Knowledge means truth. Will you use this word knowledge for the truth or the theories which sophists is giving, or will you use it for the knowledge which Socrates is giving? So obviously you will give this knowledge for the what Socrates is giving. So ultimately, who is giving the true knowledge? It is sophist or Socrates. So answer is Socrates. Fine. So there are two schools of knowledge, or Socrates said that knowledge is of two categories. One knowledge is what sophists are giving. The other knowledge is which I am giving. Fine. So which knowledge is real? So from your point of view also, obviously Socrates' position is better. So Socrates is known as father of philosophy. Anybody coming and saying I am a philosopher, I know the truth, doesn't mean that he is a philosopher. Anybody coming and saying I am a doctor, I can treat you, but that doesn't make that person doctor. Fine. So you need to possess certain specific qualifications. So there may be certain persons who may pretend themselves to be knowledgeable, but they may not be knowledgeable. Whereas there are certain persons who are knowledgeable in a real sense. So for whom will you use the word philosopher? Those who pretend, or those who are philosopher in the real sense. Okay. So I hope you have understood this. So now you just write that, how will we express that Socrates is the father of philosophy. Fine. So I hope you have already written that philosophy is the search for truth or knowledge. Fine. Right. There were philosophers before Socrates. For example, naturalists who didn't engage themselves beyond the world of nature. Then came sophists. However, sophists propounded that there is no reality beyond this world. Man is a measure of everything. This knowledge of sophists was questioned by Socrates. Right? Socrates held that there is more to reality than what sophists are telling. Thus, for sophists, the knowledge is beyond the world of perception. Right? Thus, for Socrates, there exists a truth beyond the world of sense perception. And then you write that Socrates has even given the method to understand the knowledge. The method is Elencus. Right. This method was refined by Plato and it came to be known as dialectical method. next point you write, dialectical method has become the major method for the philosophical inquiries. Dialectical method has become the major method for philosophical inquiries. Okay, right. Hence, it is appropriate to call Socrates as the father of philosophy. Hence, it is appropriate to call Socrates as the father of philosophy, rather than calling sophists as the father of philosophy or naturalists as the father of philosophy. Okay, and then you write, Socrates deserves this title. Socrates deserves this title because he has given much deeper understanding of the truth. Socrates deserves this title because he has given much deeper understanding of the truth. Okay, right. Next, hence, on the basis of Socrates' theory of knowledge, on the basis of Socrates' theory of knowledge, we can say that Socrates is a philosopher in true sense. On the basis of Socrates' theory of knowledge, we can understand, or we can say that Socrates is the philosopher in the true sense. Okay, and then you can also write further, and hence it is appropriate if we consider Socrates as the wisest man. Hence, it is appropriate if we call Socrates the wisest man. Fine. So, wisest among those who were existing in the ancient Greece. So, besides Socrates, naturalists were there. Besides Socrates, sophists were there. But who was the wise? It was Socrates. Fine. So, hence, it is appropriate to call Socrates the wisest or the philosopher. Fine. So, now you have understood why Socrates is called as father of philosophy. Here only you write as a note. First of all, who gives the true knowledge will be a philosopher. Anybody will not be a philosopher. Fine. Now, next write as a note you write, if Socrates is the father of philosophy, Plato is the father of political philosophy. Let us assume Socrates and Plato are two different persons. Okay. So you write, if Socrates is the father of philosophy, Plato is the father of political philosophy. Sorry, yes, Plato is the father of political philosophy. Okay, right. Why? Because Plato searched for the ideal state. Because Plato, or you can write, because Plato in his book Republic has given the theory of the ideal state. Okay, so maybe later on you will understand this distinction. So while calling Socrates as a father of philosophy, though there were philosophers earlier also, but in comparison to them, who is giving greater truth? Socrates. So who really deserve that title? Socrates. So it will not be appropriate to use this title for sophists, because sophists are not actually giving the true knowledge and they may be rather misguiding. Is this point clear? So now I also told you in the beginning that Socrates is also known as the father of ethics. Father of ethics. Fine. So, first of all, we should know what is ethics. or ethics deal with what? Fine. So first of all, ethics deal with the world of humans and not the world of nature. Okay, so we don't discuss ethics in the animal kingdom. Fine. So we should treat animals ethically, but one animal does not treat other animal in ethical sense. You don't deserve or you don't believe that animals are ethical. So animals are not ethical. Fine. So in animal world, in the jungle, what is the principle? The principle is survival of the fittest. Fine. So point number 1 is we can talk about ethics only in the field of humans. Okay. So we can talk about ethics where what is ethics? Ethics deals with humans. Fine. You cannot teach ethics to the animals. Fine. So those who are capable of understanding ethics are humans. Every human may not be capable of understanding ethics also. Okay, so understand what is ethics. So ethics belong to the world of humans. And if we take Gandhi, so Gandhi believes that there are many people in context of, let us say, British, who appear to be human. But if you go deeper into the British, what will we find? That they do not have ethics. They didn't thought that it is wrong to exploit the fellow men. What is the basic difference philosophers have told between the man and animals? In animals, the element of reason is very small. They are dominated by passions. Whereas in comparison to animals, the element of reason is more in humans. So what may be suitable for animals? We can say that there is nothing wrong if in lion kills other animal to fulfill his hunger, his appetite, because he doesn't know how to do agriculture. But we cannot say that it is appropriate for human to kill other human. Why? Because we have a reason. We can apply our reason and we can produce without killing somebody else. So animals do not have that much reason to understand that killing somebody is wrong. But humans have this capacity to understand killing someone is wrong. Okay, why? Because man is rational. Now those persons who commit the heinous crimes like rape of the small children, will you use the title of humans for them? Are they humans or they are animals? Animals. So there may be humans which appear human, but which may be animal in the real sense. There may be teachers which appear teachers, but they themselves may be ignorant. There may be doctors who claim they are doctors, but in reality they may not. Have you understood this? So you have to understand what is ethics. So ethics is one thing, it deals with the humans. Okay, and what is the difference between animals and humans? Fine. So in your copies you write what is ethics. I will tell what is ethics, but first of all write ethics belong to the world of humans. Fine. Humans, underline humans. Right. What is the difference between humans and other species? Right. What is the difference between the humans and the other species? Okay, write it down. Only humans live in society. Only humans live in society. Fine? Right? Only humans so the persons who do not live in society and who prefer to live in isolation, they may be living the life like animals. So only humans live in society. Fine. So what is ethics? Ethics deals with world of humans and humans live in society. Fine. So next, right? Hence ethics deals with society. Hence, ethics deals with society. Okay, right? Ethics tell how we should live in society. Right? Ethics tell how we should live in society. If we are not living in a society comprising of humans, we don't require ethics. Is this clear? So ethics is also a part of humanities. Ethics is not the part of the natural science. In the world of nature, we don't talk of ethics. Only in the world of humans, we talk about ethics. So ethics, you need to understand ethics if you are living in the society. Is this clear? Right? Hence in Greek times, hence we can say that we can use two words interchangeably. Hence we can say that we can use two words interchangeably: ethical and social. So what is social? What is acceptable in the society is ethical. What is not acceptable in the society is not ethical. If your society says that taking bribe is correct, so bribe is ethical. If your society says no, bribe is wrong, then bribe is unethical. Fine? So society will decide right and wrong, norms, so ethics and morality. You talk about morality only in society. Fine? So ethical, social and moral all are the equal or are the same thing. Fine? So ethics, morality and society as such can be used interchangeably. So ethics belong to the world of humans. Fine? And humans live in the society. Hence ethics deals with society. And so we can use these two words interchangeably. What is ethical is social. Now how society sustains? In a society, everybody cannot have its own way of life. The society will collapse. So society has to accept certain common principles, certain common views of do's and don'ts. You should do this, you should not do this. So that is called norms. Okay, so norms in ethics, what you study? Norms. You say that the conduct of this officer is ethical. On what basis do you say so? Because you have certain norms or certain standards. Fine. So ethics deals with norms. Norms or the conduct of right and wrong according to the society. And hence ethics is deciding the norms. Ethics is also about or deciding what should be the norm. Fine. So ethics is a normative discipline. Fine. So ethical, social, moral and normative. These are all the same words. Is this clear? So Socrates is also known as father of ethics. Again, Socrates is not the first person to give ethics, but the ethics which the sophists are propagating cannot deserve to be called as ethics, because what sophists were propagating, if everybody becomes a sophist, no social life will be possible. So ethics of Socrates doesn't deserve to be called as ethics, whereas the ethics given by Socrates deserves to be called as ethics, and hence not the sophists but Socrates will be treated as the father of ethics. Okay? So first of all, in your copies you write what is ethics. Right? Ethics deals with the world of humans. Right? We do not discuss ethical questions with respect to the animals. Fine. So right, in animal world, no one can say that killing one animal by the other for the satisfaction of appetite is unethical. However, in the world of humans, we can say that one human killing the other human is unethical. Right? Next, since humans live in society, ethics has a relevance in social context. Since humans live in the society, ethics has a relevance only in the social context. Okay? And hence, we can use the two words interchangeably, that is ethical and social. Two words interchangeably, ethical and social. Is this point clear? And right, every society has to develop certain norms. Every society has to develop certain norms. Underline norms. So what is norm? Write it down. Norms can be called as the moral code of conduct. Norms can be called as the moral code of conduct. Okay, moral code of conduct. Underline moral code of conduct. What does this mean? The list of do's and don'ts. The list of do's and don'ts. What a person should do and what a person should not. List of do's and don'ts. The list of right and wrong. Fine? Right. Hence, what is ethical is social, because ethics is meant only for society, and right, what is social is moral, because every society has its morality, every society has its moral code of conduct of right and wrong, right? And hence we can use the three words interchangeably: ethical, social, moral. Is this clear? And right, since in ethics we decide do's and don'ts, what is to be done and what should not be done, right? Hence in ethics certain standards or norms are formulated. Hence in ethics certain standards or norms are formulated. And hence ethics is a normative discipline. Hence ethics is a normative discipline. So what is ethics? Ethics is a normative discipline. Underline what is normative discipline. Right? Normative discipline denotes the discipline where we study what should and what should not, what ought to be and what ought not to be. Fine. So normative discipline means we inquire into the norms, means we inquire into the right and wrong. We inquire into what should and should not, what ought and ought not. Fine. What is we don't study. Fine. So let us say the sun rises in the east. This physical phenomena will not be a subject matter of ethics, because we cannot say that no, sun should not rise in the east, sun ought to rise in the west. Fine. But in humans we can say so that human should behave in this way or that way. So ethics is a normative discipline where we try to understand what is desirable, which conduct of a human being is desirable. So basically in ethics you study the norms. Fine. You propound the norms. These norms are the ethical standards of the conduct. So what should be? So basically ethics is a normative discipline. Okay. And next you can write that in ethics, or you can say that in ethics we can understand what is a good life. In ethics we can understand what is a good life. So at this point you should be clear why I can use certain words interchangeably: ethical, social, moral. And what is ethics? Ethics is a normative discipline. It decides the norms of what? It decides the norms of human conduct, how we conduct ourselves in the society. So ethics is the study of the normative behavior rather than what is or what should be. And in ethics we understand what is a good life. In ethics we understand who is a good officer, what are the ethics of a teacher, what is the ethics of an officer, what is an ethics of the parents, what is an ethics of a child. Have you understood this? Ethical normative discipline. Okay. So now I will tell why Socrates is known as the father of ethics. Write it down. Why Socrates is known as father of ethics. Is this clear? So write, Socrates is not the first person to deal with the ethical issues. Socrates is not the first person to deal with ethical issues. Write it down. Ethical issues. Socrates is not the first person to deal with ethical issues. Fine. So ethical issues means norms of human conduct. Right? Ethical issues means norms of human conduct. Means how humans should live in the society. How humans should live in the society. So Socrates was not the first person to discuss these issues. How human should live in the society. Fine. It means what should be the norms or values which person should uphold. What are the norms and the values which person should uphold in his conduct? What norms person should hold? Should person believe in honesty or dishonesty? Is this clear? So Socrates is not the first person. Write it down. In ancient Greece, sophists were the first to engage themselves in the world of humans. Sophists were the first who engaged themselves in the world of humans. Okay? Right? However, sophists propounded the ideas of individualism. Write it down. Sophists propounded the ideas of individualism. Underline this. Ideas of individualism. Right? For sophists, individual interest will have priority. For sophists, individual interest will have priority over the collective interest. Next, for sophists, money and power is a source of good life. For sophists, money and power is a source of good life. Okay. Next, sophists propagated that there are no universal principles. There is nothing right and wrong. Write in bracket. For now we use this word ethical nihilism. There is nothing right and wrong. Fine. Next, man should live according to his choice. Man should live according to his choice. Right? There are no universal standards of right and wrong. There are no universal standards of right and wrong. Is this clear? So these were the teachings. So you can write the implication of the teaching of the sophists. Implication of the teachings of the sophists. Right. if everybody thinks that his interest is supreme, society has no priority. If everybody runs after money and power, by any means, it will actually result into the collapse of the society. There will be no social life. Coexistence will not be possible. There will be no peace, harmony in the society. In fact, society will not exist. Fine. So write it down. Hence, according to Socrates, the way of life which sophists were teaching will be detrimental even for the existence of the society or state. It will be detrimental even for the existence of the society and the state. Okay, right? Hence, from Socrates' point of view, this is not ethics. From Socrates' point of view, this is not ethics. Even for the existence of the society and the state. Okay, right? Existence of the society or state, it will be detrimental even for the existence of the society and the state. Okay, right? Hence, from Socrates' point of view, this is not ethics. From Socrates' point of view, this is not ethics. Fine. So ethics cannot tell how to destroy the society. Is this clear? So write, ethics rather tells what norms we should follow to improve the society. Ethics tells the interest of the society will have priority over the interest of the man. Next, right? Socrates believed that there is no relevance of good life of an individual irrespective of good society. Next, even a good life of individual is not possible. There is no relevance of good life of an individual irrespective of good society. Next, even a good life of individual is not possible without a peaceful society. Fine. So write, hence Socrates rejects the ethical positions of sophists, and Socrates held that ethics teaches what is good life. Right? It teaches man how to attain good life while living in the society. It teaches man how to attain a good life while living in the society and not at the cost of society. It tells how to lead a good life while living in the society and not at the cost of the society. Right? Socrates held that man is social by nature. Man is social by nature. Man has to live in the society. So man has to adopt such principles so that man can live in peace in the society. Fine. So write, hence the principles of social conduct given by Socrates are more desirable than the principles of conduct propagated by sophists. Right? If we take Socratic position, if we take the Socratic position, sophist perspective appears to be unethical. Sophist perspective appears to be unethical, and hence we should call Socrates as a father of ethics, and hence we should call Socrates as the father of ethics. Fine, right? According to Socrates, we should know how to lead a good life in the society. We should know how to lead a good life in society. So, I think you have understood two things. Why do we call Socrates as a father of philosophy, and why do we call Socrates as a father of ethics? So in the discipline of ethics, the position of the Socrates is considered as the more sensible position rather than the position of the sophists. So sophists had their own ethics, but the ethics or the standards which sophists were teaching were not good for the continuation of the society, whereas the principles which Socrates was teaching has been good for the society. So it is Socrates who deserves to be called as father of ethics.